All right, folks, this is an interview that has been a couple years in the making because we always say, hey, we got to get together and talk. And then we see each other at a convention and then we never get together and talk. But now there is something, well, there's always something worth talking about. There's something that's really worth talking about because there's a really cool new project that has gone on. So I am really excited to have one of the funnest guys in the entire industry that I've met so far. One, John Hambone McGuire. How
Ahoy,
are
everybody.
you?
How's it
How you
going?
doing, man?
Doing good. Doing good. Stoked. Just like everybody else, waiting for the weather to pick a lane so I can finally like wear shorts.
80 60, 80 60. I
Yeah.
don't like, I am an old man yelling at clouds, but I'm tired of it.
Listen,
Like, I'm
sometimes
just done.
sometimes you just have to be. Like just please just I want to get the grill out. I want to be able to like, read in the sunbeam.
And we got one Dave Ward in chat. So Grimwood Games is here.
Hey,
Very good.
everybody.
And King Eric, the greatest of all, who will have wonderful comments, I'm sure, during the stream.
Very
Always a
cool.
good time. All right. So I like to open up my conversations with people to just with a little bit of get to know you.
Sure.
There's one question I forgot to put on there, but I'm going to ask it, and I'm going to ask that actually first and break thing. John Hambone McGuire.
Right.
Where's the ham bone come from?
How blue can we work on this show, my friend?
We're gonna go. It's PG-13, so you
We're
got to
gonna
give the children's
we're gonna
version.
give you a abbreviated version of the story. So I am now, I guess, back to the weight I was when the name was christened.
Okay,
I was at a wild party, and um, it was late at night, and the place was completely dark, and I needed something to drink, and like it's like if you think everyone's in bed, you're just sitting there,
yeah,
and maybe you're not fully dressed, and I go down to the fridge, and open up the fridge, and from behind me, a friend of mine who had been smoking the devil's lettuce for a good amount of time,
okay.
he goes, Hambone, get me a Coke. And you know that thing, like when someone calls out a name that is not your God given name,
It
if
just
you
sticks.
look and you acknowledge it, then it's over. And so I went, huh? And then I was Hambone for that's been like 25, 6 years. I've been
It's.
20.
I mean, it's now your professional branding.
And it's something that I had like this moment where around the time I got sober 7 years ago, almost 7 years ago, I'll be
Good
seven
for
years
you.
sober. Thank you on the 23rd of June, where I was like I tried to distance myself from the gimmick, and I was like I'm not going to be Hambone. I'm just going to be John, and then I realized that people knew me and loved me as Hambone, and I looked at it kind of like Bruce Banner and the Hulk,
Okay.
where they're the same guy.
Yeah.
It's just like you had to think about how much of the Hulk you really wanted to let out. So, I got really peaceful with it again, and I learned how to embrace it and find the balance between hey, Trouble Hambone and John McGuire.
Awesome. So because I met you as John, but cool for you over the 7 years. Like, did you got to discover that people really valued you for you?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing. I think when you are humbled
Yeah.
by having to kind of like really really get introspective with yourself and like look inward and think about stuff, and then like you realize you were kind of wrong about like so many things
Mm-hmm.
insofar as like your perception of yourself.
Okay.
And then like when you're like, oh wow, the person really does like me, and they just like me because I'm me and not because I know such and such, or like I did this or
Mm-hmm.
I did that for them. And then you kind of just I got real cool with it, man. I got like real like I don't need to impress anybody anymore. I don't need to put on the dog and pony show. I could just show up.
Mm-hmm.
People will be happy that I'm there. So, and also therapy. I cannot, uh, you know, stress enough how important people go to therapy. Fix you, help you out, man. That's one. That's one club you want to join and get the most mileage out of.
Awesome. Listen. I'm glad you took that journey. I'm really glad to know you as John and Hambone. So, and thanks for sharing that little bit.
You can call me either. It's not late for dinner.
All right, let's talk a little bit now. So we're going to because that's real world stuff. So we love
Yeah,
that, and I'm glad for it. I do want to talk about the hobby a little bit
of course.
because this is a strange hobby.
It really is.
People who get involved in it, we tend to have little quirky personalities.
Yeah.
I have to off stream. I'll tell you a story. It was absolutely hysterical from EcclesiaCon. But what first got you into this weird and wonderful hobby? Like, what drug you into it?
So it's interesting because this truly is a hobby of quirky people.
Yeah,
And the weirdos and the outsiders, and I say that with the most love and reverence I possibly can.
it is my people. Yeah.
But it's no different than being a kid who got into a punk rock band, or picked up like something like that. And I mean, I played in bands for my entire life. I still play music,
Hmm.
and there's always that kind of outsider aspect of it, and you make friends who they're in the same boat as you for a lot of ways and a lot of reasons.
Hmm.
And so I guess I was 25, and I'd always heard about my buddies, like the campaigns they played when they were little kids and this and that, and they decided they were going to start running games again. And so, and I tell the story a lot because I think it's great. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm finally going to play Dungeons and Dragons with my friends. And then like I'm like, so what do you do? And like, oh, we have like snacks and this and that, and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, no problem. And I had a house in Clifton, which is the town I grew up in
Okay.
back then. And so like I cleaned the whole house. I got the dining room ready. I had a table that was full of snacks. Like, what kind of snacks you have? With Doritos, like donuts and pizza and this and that. So I put out a spread.
Okay.
I put out a
Gotcha.
huge spread. And they're like, wow, we can't believe you actually bought all that stuff. I was like, you told me to. I just did what you said.
They're sending you on a snipe hunt. You didn't
Listen,
understand.
it
Yeah.
was a delicious snipe hunt. It was a great game. We started. It was Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 was my first edition
Okay.
entry into the hobby, and that was it. From the first time I was hooked, I fell in love with it, and it became one of my favorite things in the world to do was play Dungeons and Dragons with my friends. And the cool thing was like, this is 22 years ago at this point,
Okay.
right? So the internet wasn't as robust as it is. And
Hmm.
like, local game stores didn't have tons of other options other than D&D and like Pathfinder.
Right.
Yeah, because listen, mom and pop shops got to play the hits. They got to play
Yep.
what's keeping business, Magic the Gathering, all that stuff. But this is like years later, I found out there was all these other games, and the hobby was just so robust and full of creative, independent, creative people. Making their own stuff, and that it was not just Daddy Hasbro and like
Hmm.
whoever else. And there's all these other games, and there's rich history to it, other than just the rich history of Dungeons and Dragons. So, for me, it was cool to learn about other games and to try other games, and yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm proud to be a part of it.
That's awesome. So you played 3.5 to begin with.
Yep.
What
And then
was
we
the first
gave,
character you played?
I played a ranger. But I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I was like, well, they're like, we'll
Do
play.
any of us know what we're doing?
Well, they were like, play the character you want to play. So I was a ranger because I like the idea of the ranger, and I had a warhammer. And my buddy Jose and this story gets told a lot. They're like, he's like, why do you have a warhammer? And I was like, well, yeah, Daddy Hasbro.
I love Daddy. That's
I
a
got
very
I
nice
got a
line.
lot. I coined that phrase. I got a lot of mileage out of it. Probably the reason why I've never worked for Hasbro. Um, and I was like, well, what do you mean? He goes, you have a warhammer? Yes. And he's like, and you're a ranger? Yes. And he goes, ranger, range. It's in the name. And I was like, oh, because I didn't have a
Listen,
range.
you're tapping the sugar maples to make maple syrup. That's what you need the hammer
No
for.
idea, man. I had no idea. So we did 3.5. We gave 4 a shot, which is, it is what it is.
Uh huh.
But everyone really wanted to go back to first edition. And so then we
Okay.
went back to first edition, which I think to me was my favorite. Although I'm not a fan of Thaco, I do love the streamlinedness of first edition. And then we landed for it was a 12-year campaign run by Stu Horvath from Vintage RPG.
Okay.
We landed, and the majority of the campaign was second edition, and we stayed staunchly on second edition, and then
Oh,
except for
neat.
ascending armor class, and that was the only adjustment we made.
I did when I went back because I took a long break. I played one session of three. I guess it was 3.5 back when we
Yeah.
played like early aughts. And when they said no, armor class is ascending now, I went, "Oh, I like that. Like
Oh,
that
like
it
a
was.
revelation.
I
Yeah.
mean, I miss my. I mean, the 2-hit chart was cool to look at,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
ascending AC better. Okay, so when did you make the jump from player to GM then?
Oh, it wasn't too long after. I mean, granted, everything feels like it's 5 years ago, but I probably um, spent about like 4 or 5 years with other people GMing and stuff like that, and then I would start to run games. Like I always had a kind of hang up about it, didn't think I could do it, and then
Uh
I
huh.
realized it's not as daunting as people made it out to be. So I don't know, maybe like 5 years after I started becoming a dungeon master, and then when it wasn't specifically my campaign, I just became essentially the forever DM.
Okay.
You know,
Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
you made that switch pretty quick.
I did, but I didn't have to do it that often because we were in the middle of like a campaign. It was Stu's campaign that lasted 12 years. Um, so I did, I did that, and then I guess when 5e came out and we had finished the campaign, I took over and became the Forever DM.
Okay.
Truly into my role as the Forever DM, and then I've been that way since.
Wait, so how long ago was that now?
Well, that's at least 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
10-year forever DM. There you go. All right. So as a DM, what are some of your favorite tropes to use for your NPCs?
Well, I don't do a lot of accents because I'm very bad at accents,
That's cool.
and my accents I would do it. I always do like Scottish. I'd always try to do like Scottish accents, and then
Okay.
I ended up in a game with a woman who was from Scotland, and I was like, "I'm out of moves," and that was it. But tropes. I like to do like you can't trust this guy, but
Okay.
maybe you actually should have trusted that guy, but you don't know if you should trust that guy, and then like you know.
Okay. You got maybe he's okay, but he's
Yeah,
constantly giving hints that he's got red flags. Good.
yeah.
I like that. What, you got anything else?
I mean, that's kind of it, really. Like I've often I learned early on it's not a, and again, everyone's DM style is different, but for me, I learned early on that it's not about me. Um, can I do a Pennsylvania accent? I'm
Which
drinking water.
one?
I got a whole jug of water. Does that count, King
Listen, I'm
McGuire?
going to get some water from the spigot, then I'm going to get some water ice for a cheesesteak, and then I'm going to go to Center City
Yeah,
and down the shore. We're going there, and then I'm going to go out to Lancaster, and I'm going to put some hamburgers on the grill a while
there you go.
because the milk is all. I got to go get some.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So.
I mean, my thing was that I kind of always felt like the event was always greater than me, and I wanted to make
Mm-hmm.
sure everyone else had a good time because if they were having a good time, I was having a great time.
Gotcha.
So I would always like all the any kind of tropes or any kind of things like I knew the tropes that people didn't like, and so I would kind of let the adventure go the way that they were
They are
enjoying it.
expected. Okay.
And then if there's points I had to hit, like I would be like, okay, there's this is a key set piece of this adventure.
Uh huh.
I will find a way to get them there. It just might not be in the order that I expected it because the what is the how's the old adage go? It's like herding cats. Um,
Yes. Harder than herding cats.
Harder, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of what I do. I kind of just I'd rather everyone else have a good time because they're having a good time. They're having some memorable moments, and I'm having a good time knowing that you know they're gonna go home
It's
tonight being like, "Oh man, I can't believe I got to hit that dude with a book because I read it at Knives."
it was a good time. I forgot to turn my do not disturb on, so I'm getting beeps. I don't like that. So yeah,
Hello,
I
Elder Bard.
my elect Elder Goblin Bard. Hello, Hambone. Oh, I like that shirt too that he's or the jacket he's wearing. It's kind of fun. My trips always get to comedy or like just off the wall weird things
Yeah,
because I realize that my campaigns are all basically got huge comedic undertones because it's a silly thing that we do. So I always have a bugbear involved somewhere in the restaurant business.
the best. It's the best.
Always. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You got to embrace the strange. That it's because like when you really think about it, right? What kind of idiot wakes up in the morning and goes, "Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go into that dark forest and just see what happens."
This is what I'm saying.
You know, like
Yeah.
you're just like having lived in this world for so long, generationally. You're like, man,
Yes.
Uncle Pete, he was an adventurer. He
I'll,
doesn't come
I'll,
around no more. You know, like,
Because he had his arms cut off. He
yeah,
missing a couple appendages. He's fine.
yeah, tis but his flesh wound.
Great,
But yeah,
great
I mean,
stories.
they a buddy of mine years ago, he said it best. He's like, what's an adventure but a high school dropout with who doesn't like authority? Like it's just what else you gonna do? College, the college is not for you. Too ugly to be a prince, and too poor to be a prince. That is that ugly. So you're
I like that. That's worth
maybe
it. Well done.
glory. Good
Well
luck,
done.
don't die.
Well done. All right. So the awkward moment when you join the stream as your second channel. Oh, that was you. Okay, Elder Goblin. You have two. He has two channels. That was so weird. Oh, and Jason Shadowman's here. Hi, Jason. All right. So love this. Good GM advice. If you want to throw tropes in, follow what the people like at the table. Always really good. Because we do tend to like steamroll into what we like to do. But here's the question that's going to reveal your personality. Are you ready for it?
Sure.
Okay. So you enter a gaming room with Brian Shutter, Kelsey Dion, Rose Nickel, and Luke Stratton. There's four seats that are set up for players. There's one seat set up for the GM. Which seat are you taking and why?
You know what? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to take the DM seat, and here's why.
Okay.
Because I know, and this is a little inside baseball, but I got to play. I had Luke as a player at my table for like an after hours game
I've never got to play with Luke. I wanted
at
to so
Page
bad. Yeah. Okay.
for a couple nights, and I will tell you, as a forever DM, people who are writers and who like write games love nothing more than to be able to kick back and be on the other side of the screen. So for
Okay.
me, I'll take the seat as at the head of the table for no other reason than I'm here to make my friends happy and to show them a good time. And for me, like the gift that I can give them is a good night away from having to be thinking other than like this is a crazy idea that just might work. Let's hope the dice don't betray me this time.
I listen. That type goes right in with my thought that GMing a game is about offering hospitality.
That's it, man. And I have been an entertainer my entire life. I've been in the
Awesome.
hospitality business for most of my life. And for me, like, just even this weekend, like we did get the grill out because it was Mother's Day weekend and the building that I live in with Gio, who is my creative partner for over 20 years.
Okay.
His family's building and his parents, they usually grill for Mother's Day.
Okay.
His dad was like, "Hey, do you want to grill?" And I got up on Sunday morning, I pulled the grill out, and I spend like an hour and a half just grilling, listening to music, and I'm happy because I didn't eat any of it because I had to go to lunch with my parents for Mother's Day. But
Okay.
like, I like to cook for people. I like to be the hospitable one. I like to be the one to make sure everyone's fed and having a good time, and then like then I'll get mine in.
Okay. Yeah, you allow yourself to enjoy things, but
Yeah, absolutely. Elder Goblin Games. Yes, thank you for playing in my Five Alive game. So he played in one of the games at Luke,
I still need to get into one.
which
Man,
is ridiculous. It was one of the most ridiculous games I ever ran. So
I want to play with Luke. I want to play with Tiger Wizard. I've never played with Kelsey.
I've only met Kelsey once. I would love to
Kelsey is one of
play
the
one of her
nicest
games.
people on the planet. She's one of
Yeah,
the nicest people that I've met in this hobby, which has got a lot of nice people in it. But and I want to and I've run for Jordan, but I've never played with him as the GM. So I want to do that sometime. But you're gonna run Five Alive for me on the channel, dang it, because
yeah.
we're
Well,
playing Zombie Brain
let's
Eaters.
seriously in June set it
Yeah,
up. Plan in June so we
you
know we're
got it.
actually gonna do it.
I think that's perfect. Or what we could do is we could set it since it's season's eatings. We could set it up for Christmas in July.
Okay, that's perfect.
Is that
Let's
an
do that.
idea?
That
Okay,
is that
we're
is
brainstorming here. We've got the
that's even
brainstorming
better.
down.
Oh, all right.
That's awesome.
That is
All right.
magic.
People now know you. You are a man who likes to create spaces for hospitality. That is great. Jordan says we need to amend that, Wes. Yes, you do need to run for me, Jordan. I want you to come on and run Land of Beam, remember. Don't forget. I'm pointing to the screen like he can see me.
He doesn't see, but he feels it right here.
Does he feel that I'm pointing at him?
Feels it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you. The brain does not work correctly. All right, so let's talk about Ham and Egg because
Yeah.
this is the publishing game. So you have been in the publishing game for a bit now. How many years has Ham and Egg Publishing been around?
So I attribute the day for Ham and Egg Publishing to the day I started writing my first adventure. So July 7th will be 6 years.
6 years.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're well on your way. And E Skillum says, "Hey, I seen that guy as I was leaving the con. Skillum was there at EcclesiaCon.
Hey, Skill.
There you go. Drove from Indiana for EcclesiaCon. All right. So
Awesome.
you did say the first time you did it. So what was the first system that you wrote for Ham and Egg Publishing?
So 3-2-1 RPG, formerly known as 3-2-1 Action, was the house system, and it was something that I initially wrote as a riff on Chaosium's basic role playing.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah, roll under system with all the bells and whistles, right?
Uh-huh.
But this is, mind you, during the pandemic, the very early stages of the pandemic. So, being that I live in this wonderful home in the same building as Geo, my creative partner, and my partner in Ham and Egg Publishing RPG, I spent a lot of time with my goddaughter, his kid, and she was much younger then, learning her ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. And my concept was I wanted to make an RPG that was easy for everyone to learn. So Geo is an incredible talent. He's incredibly smart. If I liken it, I wrote something where I likened it to like I'm the battle axe, he's the scalpel.
Gotcha.
He's like, well, why don't if you really want this to be an easy system, just drop the 0, make it a D10 system. And then from there we pivoted to, following through on his idea, because then it kept refining a little bit, and he kept being like, well, why don't we just make it a single dice? Because my idea was like, yo, everyone can count, and I know it's a broad generalization, and everyone learns and has the way that they learn
Yes.
things differently, but by and large, everyone can count to 10. Everyone can add or subtract 1, 2, or 3 from 10. That's it. It's all you need
Yeah.
for the system. And so that's how it started. I started writing an adventure called Point Nemo, which eventually became Escape from Point Nemo, which I didn't want to show George until I was a little further into it, because I
Okay.
had been the stop-start guy. Like, I'm going to write the book this year, and I don't write the book. And kept going and going, I'm going to write this, and I never wrote it. Whereas he, started working on an amazing middle-grade fantasy novel called A Girl Named Doom, which we finally published years later. And so I finally brought it to him after I was like, I'm done with this. And he's like, buddy, you are far from done with this. But you know what? Having a creative partner who's your best friend, and listen, as a human to human, he's a person I admire. Even though we're equals,
Awesome.
he's a person I admire as a human, as a man. And so I'll go, it's this, and he'd be like, well, what if we kind of just tweak that and did this?
Yeah, he's doing the little
And
bunches.
that's
Gotcha.
been our relationship for 20 something years. And creatively, I think we finally really hit our stride and are able to put out like really good stuff, and have some really nice systems in place to put out the good stuff. So
That's awesome. Now I got to review 3-2-1 Action when I bought it a couple years ago now, and I still need to get the one where you're playing miniature Goth. Is it to save your soul from the devil, or you're trying to get your grandfather's soul back from the devil?
it's your great grandfather's. So
See, I remember it.
so
I have it. I want to run it. I just haven't had a chance to.
So one thing I will say real quick, East Skillum, it is your other dice just sit there and watch the D10 drive away, and they sing "Someday my prince will come."
Hey, listen,
jealously
listen.
as you roll that
If
D10 for an
Freely
entire
can do
game.
it with the D6, you get to do
Yeah.
it with the D10. Just pointing that out.
So, George is funny sometimes because Gio he'll get some wild ideas, and he'd be like, "What do you think about this?" And they always happen like a little too close to when they would need to come out,
Okay.
and then we always figure out a way to make it happen. So he rolls up one day. He's like, "What if we did, a like kind of like an April Fool's thing?" And I was like, "Well, what could be April Fool's? Like, what kind of game?" And he's like, "A game that is it's just not like another. It's just not like anything we would put out, like something like ridiculous." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Like mini golf," and I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "All right, let's do it." And he's like, he has this story, and I was like, "Well, how do you play mini golf with like a D10?" He's like, "You're gonna figure that out." He's like, "I got this story." So he came
I'm
up,
the story guy. You're the
yeah,
mechanics man.
he
You
came up
figured
with
it out.
so
Gotcha.
he came up with this story about these two twins whose great grandfather was the world's greatest miniature golfer, but lo and behold, to get that way, he had sold his soul to the devil, and so checks come due.
Love
The kids
everything about
challenged the
this.
devil to win their great grandfather's soul back. And it was great because we started working with this artist named Zach Giolongo, who's just brilliant. And he really, because Gio wanted it to be like a kid adventure, like a little kid book, like almost like a golden book kind of thing, but interactive. And also with like a heavier story. So,
Yeah, there's not too many people selling their souls to the devil in golden books.
yeah, or for to become the world's greatest miniature golfer.
The
So
world's greatest miniature golfer.
so
Like,
I figured out the mechanics to make it work with the D10. I designed the holes and got Tim Burton to do the holes because it's legitimately a 9-hole miniature golf course. Because I looked at because we were thinking about like trying to do all this crazy stuff, and I said, George, no one's gonna. It's a cool thing, but like 9 holes is probably the limit that we can get with
mhm.
this mechanic in this kind of game. So I came up with the title "Hard Times on the Back Nine," which is probably I think one of the best titles I've ever written for a
I was,
game.
yep.
George wrote this crazy story, and we came together on it. And it's just for 3 players because you're playing the twins, and you're playing the Devil's Champion, Hell's greatest torturer, known for the suffering and pain of more beings than any other demon in hell. His name is Ted Pepe. He created the DMV. Um,
You like all of your games, you just have this little like you're already laughing, and then you go and this,
well,
and you're just like, hmm?
and mind you, it's fun because I get to do all this research, and George does all this. We do a lot of research. I probably do more research and homework than I did when I dropped out of college all those times.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, Ted Pepe was not the name of the guy who wrote the DMB. Ted Pepe was the name that Geo came up with. But like, I'm like doing research on the origin to the division of motor vehicle. It's crazy because none of that is in there. But there are like some facts about the years that the DMB was invented, and like there's little like, historical facts that are legit because to us like it's important to flesh out lore.
I mean, can you really enjoy a game about saving the soul of the world's greatest miniature golfer if there isn't authenticity to it?
There has to be, and like the thing is, it's a beautiful story, and it's
It's
a
so
beautiful story
great.
with a message about family and the things that are important. Like there's
Hmm.
always one of the things that I give George an incredible amount of credit with is that when we like to write a story, we'll write a story that has a twist, and then there's a message and a meaning at the end of it. So
That's
it's
awesome.
and so that was one with Hard Times in the Back Nine. Like I came up with these golf clubs and these names. It's one of my favorite books that we did. I think the 2 books that we have that have sold more than any are The Devil in New Jersey and Hard Times in the Back Nine. I don't know what it means that there's some kind of devil in both of them, but we sold multiple printings of them because they're
You,
a lot of fun.
it is a game about miniature golf and Faustian bargains. I mean, would like that's an instant pickup. I think
Yeah,
I got that at page one,
yeah,
and I picked it up. I was like, I want this now because you described it to me. I'm like, yep, I'm taking that home.
so weird. Yeah,
You're a very good pitch man.
thank you.
I do have to point that out to you. As you're
Appreciate
talking
it.
about our PAX interview, where I'm trying not to shake the camera, you had me laughing so hard. So you got into this thing. I'm going to write this game, and you just kind of explained it. We're stuck inside. We can't
Yeah,
do anything. And you went, I'm going to write a game because what else do we have going on? I started a YouTube channel.
yeah. A lot of people did a lot of stuff. Take
It's
different
crazy.
paths.
But had you done any writing for TTRPGs before that?
Never.
Or you just went, nope, diving in. Here we go.
I mean, I'd write like my own little things here and there for adventures, but I'd never actually like done it.
Okay.
But the one thing I figured out, I mean, granted, like, you talked about like my pitch, my background. I've been in sales, from my entire life, because when
Hmm.
you are an artist, you're always a salesperson.
Yeah.
And before the pandemic, I had just lost my job working for a company called Vitamix, which sold the $500 blenders you see at Costco.
Yeah.
So I had the job of writing sales guides and writing like instructional like how to's for our salespeople and writing rules on like the thing
Oh,
procedural
wow.
stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was really good at that from all the years of playing Dungeons and Dragons and other RPGs because
Great.
you're essentially reading a rules guide but with like swords and fireballs versus like make sure you wash your hands and like don't touch
Don't
your
stick your
face.
hand. Don't stick your
People.
hand in the blender while it's running. Yes.
Yeah,
Very
and
good.
so then when it came back around, I already knew how to do it. Like in my brain, but through osmosis, I already knew how to lay out the document. I knew how to do the things I wanted to do. I made the little boxes for the flavor text, and it's a very cool thing where I always encourage people when they ask me for like professional advice when it comes to being a creator. It's like, "Oh, I don't know if I could do that." It's like you already know how. You just got to like take a breath and a beat and just turn your brain off and be like, "Oh, I've read so many of these books. Like you know what it's supposed to look like.
Right.
You
You
know how
you just have to
to
figure out how to
fill in
lay it
blanks.
there. Yeah.
It's Mad Libs at that point.
I tried it whenever I try to teach someone. I'm often trying to teach like computers or something to
Mhm.
someone. I try to explain to you. It's like I am like this is a toolbox,
Yeah,
and you're. I am not trying to teach you how to use the application you think I'm teaching you how to use. I'm giving you the hammer, and now you can take that with you
yeah,
and break every computer you touch.
yeah,
But that's the idea, and that's what you did. I mean, you took something that you learned. You went, I'm going to apply that over here, and to me, it's such a natural thing to do.
yeah.
And it sometimes I get very surprised when there's people who literally that's not how their brain functions.
And you know what? And that's something I realized too, where it's easy enough for a person to know how to do something
Yeah.
because to a degree, many people like you're like, oh, like how do you do that? They're like, oh, you just do this. But I realized very early on there was a wide berth between, oh, like that's easy, you just do this, and
Hmm.
being like, oh, here's how you do this to be able to teach it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And then there's that extra dimension where it becomes like almost tri-dimensional chess when you're creating a rule book and a rule set where it's like, you know how to do this.
Uh huh.
Now, oh, but here's how to do this to somebody else, but making it so now they can teach somebody
Somebody
else
else. You've got.
how to do it. It's a telephone game. It's not a straight line between
Yep.
you and the person at that table. There's a middle
Yeah.
person.
My undergrad astronomy professor when was teaching freshmen trying to get their science prereq out of the way, right?
Right.
And they would go like first test would come up. Well, what do we study? What do we have to know? And he would say two things. It's like, well, what do you have to know? You have to know everything. And so there's freshmen are all freaking out because oh my gosh. And then the second one is teach someone else.
Yeah.
Like if you can teach someone else, then you understand it.
The best way to learn is to teach.
Yeah, it was
And
really really good.
and also, I guess another thing I try to impart to people is that like that shorthand that you hear when people talk and the commentary of like wow, they just know that. It doesn't happen overnight. It's
Hmm.
one of those things. It becomes its own language. Like when I was in management, there's a point by the end where I'd learned so much, I accumulated so much knowledge that when I went back to work for the company, the people who worked above me were like, "Oh my god, how do you know all this stuff?" And blah blah blah.
Right.
It's knowledgeable, this and that. It's like because I know the language now. I know the
Yeah.
shorthand. I know the what I need to do, and that's why I became very effective with the job I was in.
Awesome. Yeah,
It
I mean,
takes
learning is knowing the language enough to be able to ask a question to get an answer. That's all it is. So, and that's what I love. That's really cool. I love that you were writing the how tos for blenders.
Yeah. To teach
But
people who would go to Costco, standing there for 13 hours a day, how to make these recipes and not get popped by the Board of Health.
that is fantastic. All right, from blenders and the pedagogy of learning, we're going to do a really good segue to show how our brains are really kind of different. You have been involved in this about 6 years. How many crowdfunding campaigns have you run so far?
Ooh, great question. This is the current one. I think is the 12th, 12th or 13th.
Okay, you've been
12th.
busy. You've
Well,
been
yeah,
busy.
we were averaging about two a year. Something. There was a year I think where we did three.
That's a lot.
But I
Three.
mean, the thing was, we also put out other stuff. The reason why it takes me a moment to kind of think about it is because we also put out other books that we didn't crowdfund.
Right. Okay.
That just kind of, because going into it 6 years, like once we drop the rule book in the Monstergoria later this year, right? Um, I think we have with Avon by the Sea coming out as well. We'll have 11 or 12 full length adventures
That's awesome.
plus the rulebook and the Monstergoria. So it's going to be ultimately a fully supported brand, 321
Sweet.
RPG. And then we did the two Zombie Brain Eaters books.
Mm-hmm.
We
Which
did
is running a different system, right? That's
that's Five Alive. That's what me
Okay.
and Brian came up with. George put out his novella, well, it's not his young middle grade fantasy novel. Um, I did Days of Future Fairhaven. I did my crowdfunding guide.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting something, but we put out a lot of books over
You
the
know
last.
how this works now.
It feels pretty good to know how it works, and to be able to share that information with people is a gift.
That's awesome.
Because I don't believe in gatekeeping. So people ask like, how do I do this? I got you.
Sweet. Now we were just talking about it before we got on stream. Is how the crowdfunding arena has gotten crowded to where
Yeah.
it's hard to find a window where you're going to get noticed, except by your fans. But there's still benefits to it. So, like, what are some of the benefits that crowdfunding gives, like a smaller creator like you guys?
Well, it's interesting that you put it that way with smaller creator because it's not just smaller creators, and here's why. Um, late 2020, 2021, there was a boom in the hobby
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because no one had anywhere to go, and they had money to spend,
Right.
and so that the pandemic launched 1,000 ships, and which is great because I love when people get to follow their dreams. I love when people get to finally do the thing that makes them feel alive. And whether they do it once or whether they end up 6 years later with their own publishing company, doesn't matter. You did it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kudos to you. So there was a huge boom, with Dungeons and Dragons, 5e products. Everyone's, writing indie games and this and that. That lasted, I would say, probably like 2021, 22, 2023 started to wane a little bit. By
Mm-hmm.
2024, a lot of the people who showed up for that boom had kind of moved on.
Right. Okay.
You know?
I got to get back to my regular life now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then 2024 into 2025, it started getting less and less. 2026, it's a little more, and I forget the website off the top of my head. Forgive me, but there's a site that like kind of breaks down like every month in crowdfunding.
Gotcha.
And so
Okay.
the hobby is still healthy per se, but it's not as robust. I think with a lot of up and coming creators because there's not a lot of money for those up and coming creators right now.
Right.
Because while all this is happening, a lot of bigger companies are relying on crowdfunding to also fund their products.
I mean, Monty Cook Games, it's one of my favorite publishers, had two almost $1 million crowdfunding campaigns in the last year.
Right, which is
So
good for them.
fantastic.
But now it becomes tougher because you got the big fish,
Yep.
and you have the medium grade fish, and then you have the new guys, the little tadpoles.
And
Same
nobody
pond.
knows who they are. And
It's the same. It's the same pond.
yeah.
getting seen on social media has become near impossible unless you're paying hundreds of $100 a month in weeks in ads. And
Mm-hmm.
also, money's tight for everybody. So if it's a matter of like, oh man, like this amazing Monty Cook game that I know is a surefire thing versus some dude who's never put out anything before in their life,
Mm-hmm.
where's the money going to go? So, um, you know,
It
the
gets
benefit
tough.
it is tough, but the money there is still money in the banana stand, as they say. But it's a different kind of thing now where you can still use crowdfunding to make money to fund your projects, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might not make as much as you would have a couple few years back,
Right.
and the competition is going to be a little stiffer because now you have crowdfunding services also doing theme months where, you know, right now
Yeah, we've created a new algorithm.
it's a whole new thing. Money's still
Mm-hmm.
there. You can still do it. If you want to do it, you should still absolutely try. But I think it's good to temper your expectations, and I think it's good to also really be honest about how much things cost and what you
Mm-hmm.
need to make it happen and still be able to pay your rent. So it's
Yeah.
just it's still good, but it's not great like it was.
And what a lot of folks don't understand is like someone like Kelsey who dropped like a nuke in the industry. That's only if you didn't know what she was doing beforehand, because she
Right.
was a known entity as a 5e developer, but she wanted to write because she wanted to go back to playing old school games. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to write my system, and it hit at the perfect time with the OGL crisis. So these things don't happen overnight for even the people that it looks like it happens overnight for.
Do you know what I liken it to? I
What's
liken
that?
it to in the 90s when
In the 90s. Sorry,
in the
go ahead.
90s when you had the Seattle music scene and it burst and suddenly everyone got signed, all these bands got signed. What
Yep.
despite and again, not crapping on anybody, but despite the quality of their music and the possibility for their longevity outside of a couple years,
Uh-huh.
if you looked and sounded a certain way, you got picked up, they threw money at you, didn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. I liken what happened in the early days of the pandemic in the last few years to something similar where like you could just show up and put out a product and people were just like cool, I'll give it a shot, and people just throw money
Yeah.
at it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a lot more of a thoughtful consumer market where it's like okay, now that the great Seattle scene is over, but these are the bands that are left. Like, who am I going to give my money to now?
Yep.
And you can't just, you have to be out there doing the legwork. Like, I have the benefit, I'm 6 years into the game as far as being
Mm-hmm.
a creator and being a publisher, but you have to do a lot more legwork. You really need to build a runway so it's not just a standing takeoff. Because the
Mm-hmm.
standing takeoff, I mean, some people still can do it, and God bless. But it's not like it was where everyone could just show up to the field and be like, "It's home run season, baby."
Yeah. It's not.
There.
It's not hitting season.
Yeah.
So totally. So, but there's something that you're involved in that's trying to help offset a little bit of the social media becoming useless for especially smaller creators anymore. So it's called the Analog Union.
Yep.
So explain to people what this is.
So if you go to analogunion.com, you could sign up. It is a weekly newsletter. It was created by Jason Elliott from Solarian Games, the people behind Top Secret.
I still need to get him on the channel, so thank you for the reminder.
You know it.
So,
So he and it's something that he kind of thought of, and a lot of other people were feeling this way, but it really is hard for people to see your shit on social media anymore. It
mm-hmm.
really is ephemera to the point where it's offensive, and no one remembers or sees anything.
Yep.
So the ways that we kind of sold ourselves out of for free, seemingly free advertising, endless free advertising. The old ways are the ways that we're trying to get back to, where you have direct contact with your fan base and your consumers and the people who are into your stuff by sending them emails, so email lists. So
Mm-hmm.
we got a bunch of like-minded creators and friends together, and what we did was we all sent out uh, a message to our own individual mailing lists, and we said,
Okay.
check out this new thing. And what we're trying to do is offer people an off ramp to social media, and give
Good.
people something more than just a weekly sales pitch. Like, of course we're trying to sell you stuff because Lord only knows we need the money. But we're
Mm-hmm.
also like doing bi-weekly columns. We're also doing, turning you on to new creators that you may not have ever seen, because
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to see people, and we're trying to give visibility to more diverse creators as well. Um, and so then some people clicked on it from our individual mailing list. We're like, yeah, we'll join that too. So it becomes its own mailing list,
Okay.
which now, instead of just one company just saying, hey, this is what's going on with us, every week different creators will be like, hey, this is what we're working on. Like, hey, check out this cool convention. Or, hey, I saw this insane movie. You should definitely check this out. And it becomes more of a interaction with your audience, and more of a, just instead of like shining a flashlight in their face and flicking it on and off. Did you see the ad? Did you see the ad? It's more like, hey, check
Mm-hmm.
this out. It's more thoughtful. It's more personal. It's more engaging.
Awesome.
So yeah, analogunion.com. We've been doing it since like last, I don't know, November, October, November,
John, I have not. Literally, this is the first I've heard about it.
because no one sees anything on social media anymore, you
Yeah.
know. And so I mean, now we're going to be, whenever we're at cons, we're going to be flyering more and just trying to build it from word of mouth. But one of the things I encourage people who are creators to do is really start building their mailing list and start building a relationship with their audience through a
Mm-hmm.
mailing list. Because
Yeah.
as much as you know, as
It's
much
worth spending the money
yeah,
to get it together. So, are you charging to be part of the analog union? To
no, no,
no,
the members, we pay into it to host it, and to, like, the main members.
gotcha.
Right, the main members pay into it to host it, and to, website and all that stuff.
Make sure the mailing list is popular. Yeah, that's
But
yeah.
right now what we're doing is, we're not bringing on new members because we're still getting the sea legs with it, but we are doing things like friend of the union. Like this week we did Meldar 16, spotlight on them. But the way we're doing it is we're giving the creators a platform to show off and talk
Mm-hmm.
about things in their own words, and like, hey, I'm so and so. This is what I do. Check this out. So we're not telling you what's cool about them. We're letting them tell you what's cool about them in their own words.
Nice.
And then Brian, from Arcane Sword Press, does a bi-weekly column right now, on old gaming magazines that are not Dungeon and Dragon magazine, like he did the General this week,
Oh wow.
and other things like that, like from a historian standpoint of it. And then, Stillfleet has a game jam that they're doing right now, so they put in for the game jam. Like, we had a we try to give more people platforms, and do it in ways where it's not just like every week we're trying to sell you something,
Gotcha.
because we are. But you're going to see some other stuff first.
We
Balance.
we are a business, but we want to
Yeah.
be help. We want to be helpful for the community. It's good. When you guys are taking new members again, I got to get Grimwood Games connected to you
Oh, absolutely.
because
Yeah, we'll
absolutely.
we'll talk. But I'm also working on my own content, to because you have to own your own stuff. You really need to focus on, and as much as I hate to say your own brand, but you need to focus on your brand. You need to focus on the things that belong to you and the things you can control, and
Mm-hmm.
just do what you can to build an audience outside of just trying to throw, like, wave a book at them and hope that they pick it up. So, I
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of cool little irons in the fire that I'm working on.
Yeah, the one you told me about was very cool. I can't wait till you unveil that. That's
I
going to be fun.
literally I literally bought a prop on Amazon to be able to do it. Um,
You did. I know. I think I know exactly what you bought too. But
yeah, I
we're going
did
to
it.
leave it mysterious because
Yep.
it's going to be fun when it shows up. And you did. So John came to EcclesiaCon this year.
Oh
So,
yeah,
which you've been trying to come to for the last two, and this year
yeah,
it worked out. So I'm
that's great.
thankful. But he did a shot out in front of the entryway, in front of the banner that my friend Peter is probably going to be cheering because everybody's taking pictures of it because he bought it for us.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and we're going to talk about it, but it's like, and this is how my session went. And I forget, like, you put it a clip in. It was like, I was like, okay, John's got the content down
Well,
already. Pretty good.
so my wife Sally and I, we came down to the con, and I was going to run of a harmonious nature, which is what I'm currently crowdfunding, and I saw that sign out front, and I was like, that thing looks good. That's a good looking sign. That's it. That's a good thing to stand in front of and talk. And so we're sitting there, and we went to there was a Mexican place a few blocks away, Taco House or
You went
whatever,
to the taco house? Yep.
which probably one of the best quesadillas I've ever had in my life.
I
And I
told you why I haven't been there yet, right?
was that.
Because I called up to put in an order, and that you could tell the guy didn't like was like, why did I pick up the phone?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
he went like Espanol. It's like no, he went, and he just panic hung up on me. So I haven't been there yet, but I
No,
hear it's
I mean,
awesome.
they were moving through orders. They were doing great, good business that day. But so I sat there and I looked at my wife and I said, I think I have to finally do it. And she's like, what? I was like, I'm gonna do something very cringe right now. She's like, what? I go, I'm gonna have to shoot a video and start doing this kind of shit. And
Uh
she's
huh.
like, it's okay. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to, but I have to. And so I rolled up in front. So I'm plotting it in my mind and figuring out how I'm going to put it together, what I wanted to do.
Wait,
And
is that like literally the first thing you did?
yeah.
John, you like nailed it on the first try.
Well, I had an idea of what I want. I mean, I've done things before. I've done interviews before. I've done,
Yeah.
but like as far as like making a short video like that,
Uh huh.
I saw the trailer for their Jackass movie. It's like I'm Johnny Knoxville and blah 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 the music and I was like I'm John Hambone McGuire and welcome to Dumpstat. It was the only thing that I could think of that was close to Jackass, and I don't even know if I'm going to keep doing that because the other format I'm trying to get into, I think I like better. But I sat there and I
I
hit
do
play.
like Dumpstat as a title.
It
That's a
is a
nice
pretty
one.
good title, but I sat there and I was like, I'm making content now because being ugly and anonymous is no longer an option in this business. And but it's the truth. It's the truth, It's the truth. So you have to be out there. And so I was like, I want to see what the players are doing. And then we were having such a good time at the table. Like I forgot I was going to try to film something at the table, but I was like, I don't want to put other people in it and then have them feel like they got to do something. I'll just talk about what happened afterwards. And I did it, and I put it all together the day I got back at CapCut and just uploaded it. And people had a good time with it.
That's very. I saw it. I think I saw it today or yesterday.
Yep.
I'm like, oh gosh, John did a video. That was awesome. No, you nailed it. First try.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out shorts. I've been doing this for 5 years.
Yeah.
So good job, John. All right, let's talk about the double feature
The double
that you
feature.
came to run for. So you've written 3-2-1 Action. You have read Roll 5 Stay Alive. You've got
Hmm.
two systems on your own. What interested you the most about making the shift to writing for Shadowdark for this project?
I finally got my hands on Shadowdark, and I was like, this is what I want Dungeons and Dragons to be.
It's a wild experience to encounter it the first time.
Conceptually, gameplay, like the vibe,
Mm-hmm.
danger. I mean, granted, like and again, I'd never crap on anyone who plays any kind of system because what is the best version of Dungeons and Dragons is the one that you're playing at your table and the one that makes you happy.
Yep.
But for me, I kind of just I think that the thing that I took umbrage with fifth edition was it got to a point where like no one was special anymore, and it was really hard to die.
It's,
Where
what is that? The old one that Syndrome say when everybody's super, everybody's special, nobody will be. Like
yeah,
that was the yeah
100%.
yeah.
And so I got into DCC, which I love DCC. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but then when I hit Shadowdark, I felt like it was the perfect balance between everything. Cool
Yeah.
charts, the light mechanic, the ease of like combat, like all of it. It really resonated with the kind of game I wanted to play.
Awesome.
So, and my thing is like I don't just like I've done third party work for Weird Heroes of Public Access.
Mm-hmm.
We did it for Sickest Witch. I have to feel like it's a story that I want to tell in a game that I want to play. So I don't just write them just to have something for a system. Like
Mm-hmm.
I gotta feel it all the way if I'm going to do it. And so I did. And Of a Harmonious Nature is something that Levi Combs and I wrote together for a different publisher, and we ended up getting the manuscript back, thankfully.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
then once I got the Shadow Dark, I was like, oh, this is perfect for it. So we retooled some stuff for Shadow Dark, and then Geo, my partner. So I mean, what's great is like Levi and I write this thing together, and Geo will
Hmm.
come in, and Geo will do a story pass, will do a story edit on it, and then it'll go to a regular editor, and then it go, it goes through a process,
Gotcha.
and Geo's like, hey, let's just do the little tweaks, and that's what really enhances everything. But he was like, you know what? Whenever I see a Shadowdark, crowdfunding campaign, he's like, there's always more than one book. And I was like,
Okay.
well, I have an idea for a dungeon that I want to write. He's like, so what if we did like a full length adventure, which is of a harmonious nature, is a full length adventure, and then what if we did a dungeon zine? So now Levi and I are writing the dungeon zine. Concepts all
Nice.
there. We're just filling in the rooms, and then that'll be it.
Is it like a mega dungeon? Like what? How many rooms you putting into this
It's going to
thing?
be, as of now, it's 28 or 30 rooms.
Okay. Well, nowadays, John, that is a mega dungeon.
Is that really?
Well, no, because most people like have like 4 room dungeons.
Oh,
So 28, 30 rooms, that's fine.
well, yeah. Well,
Now,
so yeah, floor one I think is like 15. Floor two is 13. Floor three is 4.
hmm,
Yeah, and then there's the thing on the top. So yeah, I
yeah,
mean, probably I'd say like close to 30 rooms, but it's going to be a zine length. It's not.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's called Nothing Left to Lose. So we're just in the process of doing that, and then I'm just doing the promotional rounds. Shout out to Tiffany, who got me in touch with a lot of cool people to talk to. Yeah, that's what I've been doing, just doing promotional rounds, trying to huck my wares, as it were.
Rose is awesome.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
can say nothing bad about
yeah.
Rose. She's
No,
fantastic.
no.
So all right, so you've
Great,
got this
great person.
going. You got this going on. You got the zine coming on.
Hmm.
Is there a story behind the zine, or is it literally just the dungeon and you guys figure it out the
No,
storyboard
no. There's
wise?
a story behind it. So there is, and thank you for asking that. There is, and I don't know what the guy's name is yet. We keep going back and forth. We haven't settled on the guy's name, but there's a torturer. And the torturer
So a
is,
literal dungeon.
yeah, he gets paid. His thing is he enjoys watching people suffer. And so he found a way to make it so he tests out the ecology for like other wizards or kings or other people to see what works before they plant it in their own dungeon. So he'll try out different monsters and different traps and different things like that. Essentially, he's kind of like Arcade from the X-Men and Mojo from the X-Men as well. But you basically, it's for third to fifth level characters, and I know that it's controversial insofar as I know a trope that people hate about Dungeons and Dragons is when you wake up captured and you have nothing,
Right.
but you are on the way to the tavern to go meet up with your adventuring party, and you black out. So immediately you start rolling on a chart to kind of see what you remember, and you
Okay.
wake up with one ankle chained to a wall in this dungeon with everything that you have. It's all on your person.
Okay.
Now the first thing is there's a torch on the wall.
Yeah.
You have all your gear, and you hear skittering in the darkness. So you're
It's
rolling to try to figure throughout. You're trying to figure out what you remember, trying to figure out how you got there. You are not with your adventuring party. You're with a bunch of strangers,
okay.
and then you have to fight your way out of the dungeon and figure out like how you got there. And now you have to fight your way out of the dungeon. But you have every piece of gear that you have, but you only have they stole all your torches except for two. So
Oh man.
you
Okay.
are going to roll a d4 to see how much time is left on the torch on the wall. So you may have three full torches, you may have 2 1/4 torches.
Wow.
And you're awakened to a magic mouth, which is talking to you. For the torture's talking to you through the magic mouth, kind of mocking you the whole time. So I likened it to
You
Saw.
made Portal.
What's that?
You made Portal.
What's Portal?
The arcade game where GLaDOS.
Oh, yeah, no, he's
The
the
cake is
old,
a lie, John. The
yeah,
cake is a lie.
the cake is fully a lie,
Yeah.
but mocking you the entire time.
Yes.
And throughout the whole dungeon, like, you hear that there's a magic mouth on the wall and they're watching you and he's talking to you and he's mocking you as you're going through the dungeon. And the whole thing, nothing
Yes.
left to lose.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they're giving you it's giving you the illusion that you're gonna be free, that you're gonna escape this dungeon because
Sure.
freedom's, like the old Janis Joplin song, freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the dungeon crawl is. Like, there's multiple ways out of the dungeons. It's not just you. There's only one way out. You can find
Okay.
multiple ways out. There are ways to find the guy who entrapped you,
Okay.
get your revenge. There's also just a shit ton of traps and
Mm-hmm.
monsters. And we went with a lot of old school monsters for this one because we wanted to keep it kind of old school in a lot of ways.
Uh-huh.
And there are things that you'll find throughout the dungeon that'll create narrative threads that once you get out of the dungeon, the game master can be like, you know what? We're going to go explore that idea and that concept. Um,
Nice.
so it'll be a short zine, short-ish, probably like 48 pages, 36,
Yeah.
40 pages, which is short for me. But yeah, probably between 32 and 48 pages once it's laid out. And then, it's going to be dangerous as hell.
That just sounds awesome. I mean, it does sound like Portal,
Yeah.
which is an amazing thing. Like that's the vibe that has. It's so great. Really, really cool. All right, so you're going through crowdfunding right now. You are fully funded.
We are. And we're over. We have reached. Our goal was 3,000. I think we were at when I jumped on here. It's like 57.
5171. I'm looking at it right
Yeah.
now.
And so,
So,
we're working on it, and we could always use more money. We could always use more
mm-hmm.
support,
Here, let me bring
um,
this up.
because it's.
There we go.
Oh,
Look
thanks
at
very
that.
much. Yeah, it's
There it
always
is.
the everything always costs more, and like the more that we make, the more money we could sink into artists and other people that we get to help. Uh,
That is my question here. So, what is the money going towards that people are buying right now?
so basically, what the money's going towards is printing and production and art.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do the layout on this one, but we
Mm-hmm.
also, if you get the deluxe version, we have a 3D printed miniature of Praster Vem, who's the big bad for Of a Harmonious Nature.
Okay.
Um, we got to do the packaging for Praster Vem, printing 2 books, getting a bunch of art. Um, and the thing is, like, Geo and I, we always sink the money back into the creators, the editors, the
Mm-hmm.
proofreaders, the cultural consultants. Like, we want to make sure that everyone gets paid and has the opportunity to make some money doing this. And we haven't, and I get yelled at this all the time, but I don't care. We have not paid ourselves for anything that we've written over the last 6 years. We sink it all back into the map makers and the other creators to make these books the best that they could possibly be.
I listen. I'm not gonna knock you for winning you back to your artist. You are allowed to enjoy some of the spoils of your work.
Yeah, the spoils is that I get to
To
make
make
cool
more
art with my
stuff.
friends, and that
That's
I,
also
I
true.
have the joy in my heart of knowing that a bunch of people and their buddies had a really good time playing something that I had a hand in creating, and
This
that,
is
like,
central to your personality, as we figured out
yeah,
in the
man,
in
like
the question at the
when people
beginning.
are like, dude, I played your game, it was awesome. I'm happy, man, because that's like to me, that's the highest praise.
Awesome.
We had a great time. Me and my friends, we had a lot of laughs, and that's
Nice.
I couldn't imagine a better calling when it comes to being a game designer. Better higher praise than that. And then, like, one of the things I've been doing as well is I've been trying to figure out ways to get people to try it and to understand kind of what
Mm-hmm.
we do. So if you saw when you scroll down the Death by Hambone pin,
Mm-hmm.
I've been running games over the last couple weeks. I'm going to run a couple more this week where you could sign up and with no obligation to buy, no strings attached, and I'll run you through of a harmonious nature. And if you survive, I mail you a pin that says I survived Hambone. If you die,
Nice.
I mail you a pin that says Death by Hambone. And then, and I've run it for people, and everyone I've run it for have all bought it because they had a blast and they really understood it. I had the privilege of running it for 3 young women who never played D&D before. It was their first time ever
Nice.
playing D&D, so thank God I was teaching them Shadowdark because and they had a blast, and they had and that was their first time ever playing D&D, and I got to be the person. Like, what a gift to be able to be like, oh, I'm the guy who gets to like show you how to do this awesome game, and they were so good at it, and they did so many ridiculous things. So they
That's
also
so
died.
awesome.
Yeah. What tier level is the illuminated hard
Yeah,
copy version?
that's been an ongoing joke lately on
Oh,
different
yeah.
things. There's illuminated, illuminated manuscript is that so they would hand copy manuscripts and then they would like put pictures in the margins.
Oh, yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you like just Google illuminated manuscript, it would probably cost like $10,000 a
Yeah, we need to
copy.
make a lot more money for something like that.
Yeah. So, but man, I would love an illuminated copy of a rule book. All right. So you mentioned paying the artists and the cartographers. Who are some of the artists that you have working on this? Because there's some I it's got your personality on it
Yeah.
because it's Shadowdark, but there's things that if you look at it you're like, well, that's kind of goofy at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like
always,
this guy.
oh, yeah.
So
So that artist is Zach Giolongo. He's one of my now he's become a long time collaborator. I mean, generally, if you get in with me and Gio, for the most part, like if you're available, we're gonna keep working with you because
okay.
we love working with people. But and like I like loyalty to the people who've been on the journey with us for a while. So Sally Canarino is my wife, who is a comic book artist, uh,
Nice.
and she is very much responsible for. She's the cover of Harmonious Nature.
Okay.
She just wrote Sickest Witch, Under the Shadow of the Noonday Witch with Geo, and she did all the artwork for that.
Nice.
A lot of the good ideas that I have really get polished when I be like, "Hey, blah blah blah," this, and then she'll chime in from the other room. She's like, "What do you think of this?" And then like we go with that because she's a really just she's a genius creator, and I'm not just saying that because I happen to be married to her. She really is like
It was
fantastic.
I didn't get to talk with her much. It was really nice to meet her at a close
Oh
of
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So
She's great. So she does a lot of artwork. On this one, it's gonna be Sally, Zach Giolongo. The cover to Nothing Left to Lose is Charles Ferguson Avery. Maps are gonna be this dude Skull Dixon. I've been working with now for 6 years. My
awesome.
longtime map guy. He's friggin' amazing. Like the map that you see as an example was the map from Hotel Exorcist, which was a riff on the Ravenloft map because it was a
Nice.
hotel. So I was like, this is kind of what I'm thinking, and I feel lucky because we've been working with a lot of artists, the same artists for years, where I trust them implicitly,
Okay.
and I'm like, hey, here's the broad strokes, dealer's choice, have fun with it, and
Cool.
we just let them run with it, you know,
Yep. And no,
and
he does not have swords for ears. He's about to lose his head.
he's about to get his head cut off, yeah, yeah. The big
So
bad Praster Vem has giant the giant shears that are sharp on both sides, and the handles are made from the bones of a giant condor. It is
nice.
a very nasty weapon.
You get a Skixy vibe going on with the
Yeah,
bad guy.
yeah.
Very nice.
Well, Prastervem is a demon that's trying to ascend to minor godhood.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and so we have a 3D printed mini that we made of Prastervem that we're trying to come up with a cool design to package it with instead of just sending it in like a little box with some bubble wrap. Um, yeah, and then
Nice.
this one I'm going to do the layout on because we have a lot of other books that
Okay.
are in the process of being laid out, and I know I can have some fun with this. And so Sally will do the art direction on it. Like I'll be like, what do you think about this? And she will give me some great ideas for it, and then help me out with some of the odds and ends, and I'll just drop everything in there. And I am so blessed to have a amazing wife who is also like a creative partner now.
Pretty cool. I mean, that's a nice cover, John.
Yeah, she's really good, man. She's really something special with
It's a really nice cover with
with
the
what she creates.
the bird creating the negative space at the top, and then just
Yeah,
the ink work on the flames. Just so nice. Good job, man.
I'm really excited about it.
Very good. You should be. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so you're play testing right now, and by the way, I love the style of artwork for the game because you went. It's halfway between kind of more modern detailed drawing and old school line art, and it
Yeah,
creates its own vibe because you have that grayscale shading that you don't see in a lot of the old line art. Really, really cool stuff. I wanted to bring that up and give props where it is.
thanks,
But
man.
you're play testing right now. And I asked this kind of because I know that something happened at your game here to CleezyCon. What's like the most unexpected thing players have done to hack your adventures as they play tested these?
So one of the things was a player got in there, and it's something that I underestimated with Shadowdark in the ability to cast spells. Dude just kept webbing the heck out of Praster Vem, and at one point when he did it again, rolled a natural 20, and he had like a +6 to cast the spell or whatever. So there was no way I could ever beat that 26 to get Praster Vem out of there.
Okay.
So I call up Levi when I get home, and I'm like, brother, we got to figure out a way around this one. He's like, I have found the the chip in the armor, and he was like, all right, I have an idea. So we figured it out, we fixed it. But I mean, that's why playing it at conventions. That's why playtesting is important because the best thing a player can do for you in those early days and iterations is break your game.
Mm-hmm.
So you find a way to balance it so no one else can do that. Um, but I mean, they still had fun. They still got all their stuff in.
They loved it. People played. I had a couple of my players in your game, so they
Awesome.
loved it,
Yeah, we had a blast with them.
which is great. And I will agree. Like web is my nemesis. I hate that spell. I hate that spell.
And it's not really as bad in like traditional D&D, but like in Shadowdark, oh wow,
You're not getting out.
you're
You
you're
just
done.
you're not getting out, or they're going to light you on fire, and it's just not a fun time.
Yeah,
It's not good. But
they
I've
try
never heard of anyone spamming web.
spam me. Oh, it's the point where I was like, there's really nothing else I can do. So I found stuff to do until they could finally because they were also a point where they were kind of rolling poorly,
Okay.
and they needed the one of the guys was trying to get up in the tree to backstab Praster Vem, and I'm trying to like stall so they can get up there and do it. They can have the big finish moment, and they just
Okay.
kept rolling so poorly. And I'm like, this. There's just certain times you just kind of painted into a corner as a
Yep.
game master. It's just like the dice are just being like, not today, buddy.
Mm-hmm. It's most of the times when I'm jamming, I can't hit a barn.
Yeah.
It's never a good time. Well, it's always a good time for the players. So every now and again, I get brutal. Those are fun. I don't like to be against my players. I don't, but
No,
I
but
do like for the bad guys to be able to function.
listen, I'm never trying to kill a player. I mean, granted, yes, I made pins that say "death by Hambone,"
We
but I
mean
made ones,
characters, by the way. We're not talking player.
yeah, but kill the characters, and I made
Yeah.
ones that say I survived Hambone, but I'm never against them. I'm always trying
Sure.
to make sure they have the best time possible. But if they make some boneheaded decisions or the dice don't roll in their favor and the character dies, then
Yeah.
then it wasn't me.
I
I can
had a
do it.
player whose character lost a foot in Tales of Argosa this week.
Oof,
Just a giant centipede popped out of nowhere and ate his foot.
I'll do it.
These things happen.
These things do happen.
He's definitely going to remember that. That's for sure. So without giving away spoilers, I don't want you. We talked a little bit about the background. I don't want to give away any spoilers. Have the playtests that you've done affirmed moments of these adventures that you thought were going to be high points and like, oh yeah, those things hit.
Oh yeah, oh that's always the most like you know, um, because I'm not a believer in like trying to square peg a round hole.
Right.
Like I've run play tests where in my brain I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be the coolest thing ever, and it just goes over like a lead fart in church,
Okay.
and I'm not trying to find a way to fix it to shoehorn it in there. If it doesn't work, out, gone. But the other side of the coin is I've definitely had like play tested games where you're like it works better than you thought, and it works in a way where like people love it, it resonates with them, and you're like, okay, all right, I'm on to something. This
Gotcha.
is this set piece really works. Like I in this game particularly, I had a couple set pieces that they encountered that were just nailed it, spot on, and then it also got me to realize that like I had to rewrite a joke,
Okay.
set up in a joke, because of harmonious nature is very much in the vein of like the Wicker Man, the old the movie The Wicker Man.
Mm-hmm.
So there had to be a not the bees joke in there. So it's kind of refining that, silly things like that.
Yeah, awesome. No, I love it. So you had those moments of affirmation, which is always a nice thing. And King Eric wants to know how many spells can be cast in a day in Shadowdark until you fail.
Yeah, and the guy wouldn't fail. I was like, all right, well, he's gonna fail eventually. Nope,
Nope, didn't do it.
nope.
So, yeah, it's a Shadowdark is rolled to cast, and as long as you succeed, you keep that spell. And then when you fail, you lose it until you can memorize it again. And on a catastrophic failure, bad things happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
delicious chart.
it's so great. Yeah, and it's for you mentioned DCC. I always looked at the DCC spells going, that's a bit much. And Shadowdark kind of like hit the sweet spot in between like DCC and like it always works, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, but when it doesn't, oh my god! Like we had a I ran it on stream, and I forget what happened where if the guy spell it failed, and if he had rolled one higher than he did on the chart, the ground would have opened up and it would have killed everybody.
Yes.
And I'm just like, let's see if he does it. And he didn't. He didn't.
Like, go ahead, push your luck. Go ahead, please, please,
Yeah,
please. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a fun time. I am a big fan of roll to cast.
I am
So
too. I'm also like even in 3-2-1 RPG in our magic system, we don't use hit points. Use luck points, and luck
yep.
points you can actually, if you blow a roll, you can't adjust damage, but if you're making a check and you blow the check, you could spend some of your luck points to make that check. Well, for higher level spells, you could spend your luck points, which is your life force, to cast those spells. So I've always been a proponent of like there needs to be a cost to magic,
Yeah,
but not necessarily like I've got a frog's toe and I've got like a vanilla ice pog and I've got like a pixie stick. Now I can cast this spell. But you're channeling things from the universe and the elements. Like it's got to take a physical toll on you somehow.
sure. It's
Um,
not something you're meant to necessarily have a connection with.
exactly.
So cool stuff. All right. If people want to back this project, how long do they have to do so?
That's a great question. I want to
The
say,
hint is it's running on the screen right now.
yeah, I'm pulling it up on my phone because I actually was checking it before. It has 11 days left to be backed on Backerkit.
So it ends on the 22nd. It is fully funded,
Mm-hmm.
but you have a stretch goal that you're trying to reach.
Yes.
What do you need to read to get to the stretch goal?
7K gets you printable maps, printable fold out maps. So we
11 by 17, right? Is
11
what it
by
was?
17 double sided maps that'll just slot into the back of the bag with the books themselves. Like we did it for the Hotel Exorcist. Hotel Exorcist came with a double sided map. Printed out, which looks awesome. We did it for a couple of our other books. We have a nice printer that we like to work with that would do.
Isometric, too. That's really nice looking.
Yeah, that's Skull Dixon for the Hotel Exorcist.
Who did the illustrations on that?
That is Skull.
Nice.
Yeah, Skull
Giving
did
you
all of that.
exhibition or expedition to the Barrier Peaks vibe there a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, it came out really good.
Nice.
But yeah, so once we hit 7K, every physical copy gets a double-sided 11 by 17 map for each book.
That's really nice.
Yeah,
That's a really cool stretch goal. We want you to make that. So
I would love to make that. Yeah,
everybody go back
fantastic.
it. The link is where's my I'm the wrong way. The link is under John. John, point down. There you go. Yeah, you almost got there. Right there.
Yeah,
So links are QR codes there. The link is actually scrolling across on the bottom of the screen, so you can
awesome.
go back and watch this later and grab it, take a screenshot. And the cool thing is that it recognizes text now. You just tap on it and you can go right to the page. Really, really cool.
Very cool.
When are you hoping to ship this? This.
Looking at December for the PDFs and either late December or sometime in January for the physical copies because, as always, we are at the whimsy of the printer. So
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, the one is written. We got to tweak some stuff on it. The other one's being written, but it really just does become a matter of we have other books that are in the pipeline going to come out first
Okay.
while we finish these books. We have a bunch of stuff on our plate that our goal this year is to get all of our books out.
Okay.
All our books are going to come out this year, except for like whatever we decide to crowdfund like later in the year.
Uh-huh.
Like all of our backlog, everything current, we're planning on getting it out this year. So I feel comfortable saying December, which is what I put on the backer kit for the PDF.
Yep.
I would love to do the physical books in December as well, but I'm also realistic about the holidays and
That's really tight.
but
Where are you getting them printed?
that's TBD. We have been
Okay.
using Mixam for a very long time. But what we're trying to do is trying to find another US based printer. I mean, Mixam, you could their hardcovers they print over in the UK or in Canada.
Okay.
I don't want to go over. I really would prefer not to go overseas, especially with everything that's going on and tariffs and
Yeah.
gas and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So we're trying to find another US based printer that'll give us a
Gotcha.
good rate to be able to print them here in the US,
Nice.
high quality,
Stitch binding. What we're going? Same.
case bound
Yep.
for the hardcovers, and then yeah,
Awesome. Here's I have to run down my checklist.
please
Glossy paper or non-coated paper?
non-coated. We like the feel of, or, I guess we'll go inside baseball on this. We use a 70 pound uncoated paper for the interior. And then we do gloss for the outside with a matte finish
That's fine.
because we like the matte finish gives it a nice dry touch to it. I like
Yeah.
I and again this is my own personal preference, it's Geo's preference as well. We don't want to. I don't want it to feel like a magazine page.
Yes.
I want it to feel like a book.
Yes.
You know.
And you are speaking my language.
Yeah.
Give me non-coated flat paper.
Yeah.
Just one. It feels so nice.
And I screwed up the order, and I own that. On the first one we did Rocket to Rush, I screwed up the order, and I ended up clicking the wrong box.
Oh
And
no.
it's haunted me ever since. I think we only have like 5 copies of it left, and we're not going to reprint it because we want to
I
rebuild it
have
from the
that
ground
one. I
up.
got to go look at it. So
King are the greatest. So book
that
ribbons,
was my next question, Eric. Yes. Book ribbon.
I would love to do a book ribbon.
Okay.
Book ribbons are so expensive.
Are they
Unless,
really?
oh yeah, unless you're
Wow.
printing in China,
Okay.
where like if you're making like 1,000, 1,500 copies of a book, the ribbons are very negligible in what they charge for it. If you're printing through Mixam, printing through U.S. based companies, through Mixam, the ribbons are astronomical. The ribbons,
Really?
yeah, like hundreds upon hundreds of dollars on top of the books. Through other companies, that's TBD.
Okay.
I've gotten quotes from a couple places where it wasn't bad what they were charging to do the ribbons. But it really does. It comes down to how much we make. You know,
Okay.
I would love for every book to have the ribbon
Keep
and the
keep
headband,
keep
and the tailband
begging
on it,
it.
but it
We
just
want ribbons. We
it
want
just gets
ribbons.
it gets so expensive. And
That's
then
so weird they would cost that much.
so much. Yeah,
Those are my two things that like, okay, it's got a ribbon and it's flat paper. I'm happy with this book.
oh yeah, I do. I think every book should have a ribbon, but it's especially now more than ever where everything is just so much more expensive to make everything.
It's so hard.
Because I would tell you, having been in this game now 6 years, everything costs more.
It's just and it's been way beyond like normal inflation. It's just everything's gone crazy.
Oh yeah, now
So
also like especially when I do the U.S. print run because I mean obviously I would love to always print the things in the U.S. but now I'm
right.
like just thinking of what the gas to ship the thing is going to cost
I
for
don't
it
want to think
sent out
about
a
it.
boat. You know,
I don't even want to think about it. If they can get fuel. So yeah, it's not going to be fun. Good time to
if it
be
post
in
you lose, baby.
business. Ay, ay, ay. So no, I hope it goes well.
Thank you.
I listen. and I am a little bit in the red in my book budget, so I'm going to back this digitally. But I'm picking up one of the print books when I see you at a
Oh,
convention
dude,
at some
and
point.
listen, it's totally okay, and I appreciate it, and I understand completely. Things are tight for everybody, but I will say this: if you're like, oh man, I really want to support this, but again, you might not be able to swing. God, I should talk about this more. And you can't swing like the physical books. We actually wanted to make sure people had a good price point where they can
Mm-hmm.
afford it. So for $12, you can get both PDFs.
That was it.
That's it.
Oh, I'm good. I mean,
If you
that's a no brainer.
if you
I was
go
already going to do it
to
anyway, but
if after the campaign on Drive Through RPG, the PDFs are going to be $10 a piece.
gotcha.
Before this campaign, for $12, you can get both books on PDF form.
And I don't like I want the physical book because
Yeah,
paper.
you'll
Good
find me. You
good
know,
book. I know where you'll be. But for what folks understand is a PDF is a really valuable thing for a backer kit because even though they don't bring in the cash, they also don't bring in a whole lot of expenses.
yeah, and that's why I never understood like why game companies would charge extra for the PDF. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and we factor into our price. Like even when you see me at a convention, if I sell you a book with certain exceptions, like say if I do a group zine with the sewer rats, or if I do a group zine with some other friends, like
Mm-hmm.
that won't come with the PDF because it's a group zine. It's meant to be a physical,
Mm-hmm.
inexpensive item that like it's you had to be there, man. But
Yeah.
like anything that's published from Hambone Publishing directly, any of our third party books that we publish, if you buy a book from me, I'm going to hook you up with the PDF because
There
that
you
to
go.
me I factor that in, that's part of the price. You
People
know,
are always worried. Like, well, the people will pirate it. It's like they're going to pirate it
they're going to pirate
anyway.
it anyway. They're
So,
going to pirate it anyway, man. Like you just but like certain things, like I had intentions on doing some just straight up fanzines that I'm not going to talk about now because I enlisted other people to do it, and everyone got real busy. But like when I do these fanzines, I'm only going to sell physical copies, and you can
okay.
order them from us. You can order them
Mm-hmm.
from
Mm-hmm.
anybody who's involved in it. We'll have copies to sell, but there won't be PDFs of it because we're trying to certain things I want to try to bring back to the old ways of like, hey man, like this is special. It's rare. It's a place and time that if you weren't there, that's okay. But there is
I love it. We're going hipster RPGs.
just for like the fancy and stuff.
Why not? Like seriously, why not? Why not bring something unique back to it? Like this is a distinct artifact that we've got and people can use it.
I
It's
just I
perfect.
just I just went we just went back and rebought a button maker the other day. We're making buttons again for people. Like we're trying to bring back the physical tactile aspect of being in a hobby.
Awesome.
Trying to slow down the war of ephemera that we currently exist in. You know, it,
Mm-hmm.
it I tell people, and I'm having this conversation a lot lately. It's like we're all punk bands, we're all garage bands. We need to go back to the old ways as much as we can to bring in new people to the hobby. Because otherwise, you
What a
miss.
flip. I mean, it's like seriously, what a flip in just the presentation of that idea. Because so many people want to run back to the old ways of the hobby to keep all these newfangled kids out.
Yeah,
And you're like, oh no, let's go back to the old ways because that's what draws people into this stuff because it's unique, it's distinct, it's different. It shows you that it's something really cool. That's a really good way to put it. It well done.
thanks, man.
I was like, if I had a hat, I would tip your cap to yourself. There you go. So very good. I love that was really well done. That's a really cool jujitsu move you just did on that. Really
Thanks.
really neat. Shadow Made Zine Games. It's the new hotness. I mean, we have a month for it. We might as well do it. King Eric wants to know if you remember Dragon Magazine.
I do. Yeah, I have a stack of them somewhere in the house.
Yeah, Dragon was always fun. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, listen, I have kept you for an hour and a half.
Listen, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. I always like
I
hanging out and chatting with you. So,
I
thank
love
you so
hanging out
much for
with you.
taking and sharing your time with me to help me promote the stuff that I need to promote. So, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm going to give you final word on pitching, and then I'm going to go say goodbye to everybody in stream, and I hope you stick around.
I'll stick around. Yeah, for sure.
But give the final pitch for why people should back this dark double feature.
Dark Double Feature could be a good time if you like horror and you like the idea of playing a dangerous RPG that's going to keep your blood pumping and keep you on the edge of your seat. The Dark Double Feature with Of a Harmonious Nature and Nothing Left to Lose are two different flavors of horror for one incredible system, Shadowdark RPG. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, you really have the copy down for the selling. It was really that was really
Thanks, man.
very polished. And of course, Eric throws a question in: is it cost prohibitive to print your own books on your or print books on your own?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, if to make a fanzine, um,
probably not.
well, okay, all right, so we'll stick on this a little longer. Inside baseball, a guillotine cutter is more expensive than you think. If you need to cut anything, you probably need to get a guillotine cutter. Um,
Yeah,
Printing in general, printing off your own, like, things off your own printer, it kind of does become cost prohibitive to a way, like unless you have one of those laser printers that only does black and white, and
it's still like 16 cents a page.
it does the
So
math doesn't always math. I mean, is it cool to do it yourself and to come up with your own like handmade boutique stuff? Absolutely. But uh, while things have gotten more expensive, it has gotten to a point where certain things are less expensive. Like say, like doing a if you go to mix them right now and you put in like say like a 24-page zine, bare bones and on it. I mean, it might cost you like $130, which would keep your profit margin down
mm-hmm,
real low. And also won't have you,
mm-hmm.
cutting yourself on a guillotine cutter, or having to buy a guillotine cutter, or having to buy one of those really long staplers to be able to staple the zine yourself, and running out of printer ink, and making sure that you're putting the paper in the right way to be able to print it double sided the right way, and you know it can be done.
There's a lot that goes into printing. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's I'd rather pay someone else to do it. I hate printers. Printers are a hack.
yeah,
They're a hack. So, all right. Well, listen, and
yeah. I'll
Shadow
hang out with you.
Man
Say goodbye.
Jason says, "Hey, good luck with Maxim. He's good." All right, we're gonna hang out in a little bit. I'm gonna go say goodbye. Thank you so much for being on. Let me let everybody else go. I'm gonna go to myself for a second, taking you off camera. Here, wave goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Appreciate you.
There we go. Now I'm going just to me. All right, John. If you haven't picked up on your, John is awesome. I met John at page one. We have stayed connected through every convention that we bumped into and a little bit offline. Came to EcclesiaCon this year. He is a great guy, like literally, and makes really good stuff. Go check out my review of 3-2-1 Action that I did a couple years ago. Really neat little system, really cool adventures, and these things are going to be absolutely phenomenal. So if you have the budget right now to go do it, go back at least the PDFs to make sure that they get to their stretch goal, because 11 by 17 foldable isometric maps is a really cool thing that everybody should have. Really cool stuff. Coming up on channel for me, I am 2/3 of the way through my Coriolis The Great Dark review. I'm currently at 2,800 words. This is going to be a long one, but I love this book, so I'm really getting into it. Very, very fun. I've got another interview scheduled for next week, and I've got Redacted by Al Spaders sitting on my shelf on my desk that I've read. That's going to be coming up for review, as well as some other stuff from Free League for Coriolis. Looking forward to all of that. And until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.